Okay, class, let's take a look at the SLO problem for ABC costing. And one of the things I'm helping you do this because I don't want the format to trick you up. And the idea of ABC costing is that instead of having one rate or department rates, several rates, we have a rate for each activity. So we're going to fill in this table because we need to calculate, first of all, the total budgeted indirect cost. Okay, so the first part here is the quantity for each allocation base. Well, material handling, it says, is going to be the number of parts. So for standard, we have 6 parts per wheel, and deluxe we have 14. So 6 and 8 is 14 times the number of units, which is 1,000. So this is where 14,000 is the total number quantity. And we're just going to fill in now the rate, the cost per part, total those two together, and that's good. So now the setups, we look down here, the total number of setups for 1,000 wheels are 20 setups. The cost per setup is $305, and so this is $6,100 budgeted indirect costs. The insertion of parts, again, we're using the total number of parts times the cost per part, which is $31. Again, I'm using both of these two tables. So that's $434,000. And finally, finishing. So I go over here and it says that the standard uses 1.2 hours, deluxe uses 3.2 hours. So together that's 4.4 hours. Again, we're doing the total, so it's 4.4 times 1,000 or 4,400. And the allocation rate for finishing is $58. And again, I'm taking the allocation rate directly from this table. So 255,200. Add these together, 748,220. And we have our table completed. Okay, now I'm going to help you begin this particular table also. This says compute the manufacturing overhead cost per wheel of each model using ABC costing. Okay, so the allocation rate for materials, we're just taking this again from the table. That's 378, 305, $31, and the last one finishing is $58. Now, the number of wheels, or the number I should say parts per standard wheel is 6. The number of deluxe is 8. Looking at my table over here, 6 parts per wheel, 8 parts for the standard, and I multiply then these number of wheels times the allocation rate, and I get $30.24 for deluxe, $22.68 for standard. The machine setup is a little bit complicated because you're taking a look at it, what it is, the quantity, and so you're going to have to take the total of 1,000 wheels, and for each one you're going to have to take 10 divided by 1,000 wheels because that's the number of setups. So 10 divided by 1,000 is 0.01, and I know that's unusual, but that's the way that's calculated. And it's also the reason that I'm helping you do this particular problem. Okay, now I'm going to multiply this, so it's 3.05, 3.05, and then the rest I think you can figure out on your own. Again, the insertion of the parts, the number of parts for each one of these is 6, and the number of these are 8. Okay, the finished goods, bring over the 1.2 for standard, 3.2 for the finishing, and then you'll end up having a total. It'll then ask you after this table to figure out the plant-wide rate. So you just simply go up here to where you have your total indirect costs and divide it by, in this case, the total budgeted direct labor hours. So it'll be this plus this, 2.2 plus 3 times 1,000. That's for when you do requirement number 3. And then you can separate that by the standard and by the deluxe. Okay, so once again, good luck.